Hey, this is Alex. In this short video, I'd like to share with you a term that in Vietnamese would be called saving face, or probably loosely translated in English means, avoiding looking bad. And then just in some cases, what makes, how extreme this can kind of manifest itself, for lack of a better word.
But first, how would you like an ongoing supply of free reports, helpful resources and unique cultural insights for meeting, dating and marrying a Vietnamese woman? Too easy. Just take a quick moment to subscribe. And click the bell icon. And you'll never miss out again.
So one thing that I just kind of want to mention this, right, is that if you're going to be in a serious relationship or, looking about marrying a Vietnamese woman, one thing that may come up that may sometimes makes a situation a little bit difficult to understand, or may cause some frictions, which we'd like to kind of give you a heads up, so that way you can understand where it's coming from and maybe address it appropriately. So in the Vietnamese culture, right, there's a phrase called losing face, and what that means is it's a stronger version of what in English would be called looking bad. It's not disgrace, so please don't think of it as that, but it's definitely stronger than looking bad. And a lot of Vietnamese folks will go in some cases to extreme length to avoid this, because Vietnamese folks in general tend to be more spend more time thinking about what others think about them. Okay, and why is this important? Well, if you're gonna be in a serious relationship with a Vietnamese woman, or looking at marrying one, or maybe you already married one, then you should know that there's a lot of major decisions that are made between you and her, that while this may not be the main driver, it's definitely going to be one of the drivers in many cases. So, for example, one of the ways that it may for example, kind of like manifest itself, right, or at least take place, is like there's a phrase called "keep up with the Jones." All right, so it's not uncommon, or there might be a likelihood of where you may be approached by saying, well, we should look at getting a bigger house, and when you really look at it, it may just be because of the fact that it's just keeping up appearances, for lack of a better word. Okay. Likewise, where you might want to think about sending your kids to school, that might be a factor as well. And if there's some, if you're dealing with some personal relationship, again, in Western culture, it's a little bit more commonly accepted to talk about things in the open, right? You may not think it's a big deal if you're out with your friends and you share with your friends that you guys, there may be, some things going on that's not going as well, or things at work, you're having some issues at work with your boss or something like that. Depending on the Vietnamese woman, that may or may not fly, that may or may not go over very well, meaning that she may not want you to share that in public, even if, I don't mean like in a public setting, I'm talking about even with close friends, because Vietnamese culture in general tends to be about keeping things just to yourself. All right, even my own family, for example, there's things about my own brothers that, quite honestly, I don't know about, and I like to think we're a lot closer than probably most. And so it's something that you should be aware of, okay? Because sometimes a request may come out and you may be left scratching your head, said, where did that come from? And it may be driven by this, and again, I'm not trying to assign fault or anything here. This is most likely how she was raised, and how her mom was raised, and how maybe her grandmother was raised too. And because of this, it's kind of like inherent. It's been kind of ingrained into her. All right, and so it may just be sitting down and having a candid conversation, which I recommend, about this, and saying that if something is not working, not necessarily a personal relationship between the two of you, but that, let's just say that again, it's a hypothetical example, right? But like maybe one of your kids is, for whatever reason, not doing well in school. you're okay talking about with your friends at dinner, but she may not be. And if you're not aware of that and you think it's okay and she's not, you guys haven't talked about this ahead of time and somehow you blurt this out, I've seen this cause, I wouldn't necessarily say an argument, but a disagreement, okay, between the couple, because one thought it was appropriate and it's acceptable to share this with even a close friend, and the other is most likely the woman probably thought it wasn't. And so because of this, this is just some of the things you want to know about, right? So I'm not suggesting you sit down and ask about everything. Oh, is it okay to share this? Is it okay to share this? Is it okay to share this? That's not my point. The thing is, I just want you to be aware of the fact that culturally, this is where some of her actions may originate from, and where this comes from. All right, it's not something that she's being difficult or unreasonable by any means. It's that culturally this has been the case maybe for hundreds of years, and arguably maybe thousands of years. And so because of that, that's just how she was raised. And this again tends to be more with women probably born in their 70s or earlier. Women that's a little bit younger, probably in their early 30s or 20s, while this still may exist, it's not as big, it's not as the programming, for lack of a better word, is not as strong. All right, because the younger generation now has had a little bit more time to be, for lack of a better word, be open to other perspective. But women in their late 30s and older, this is definitely something. Vanessa and I, for example, there's certain things that, even though we've been together now for a number of years, obviously we're both very Vietnamese, and there's just certain things that I still notice that I can talk about. And if there's any doubt, I usually ask her, say, is it okay if I talk about this, with some of my friends? And then, she'll say yes or no. Generally speaking, in most cases, I'm a little bit more open about some of these things. So it's not like, black and white, it's just kind of different shades of gray, all right? But if you're coming from a Western culture, this is something you definitely need to be aware of, especially if you're going to be in a more serious relationship, and certainly if you're going to have marriage, certainly if you're looking at marriage, all right? And again, it's not that you can't reconcile this. It's just that if you know about this, and you can sit down and have this conversation and ask her, say, look, I'm not trying to change who you are, but some of these things, in some cases, I like to be able to talk to about it, with friends or something, to get their perspective on something, right? That could be some of the things you're doing at work, maybe some things at home with the kids, or whatever that may be. All right. So hope this kind of this video has kind of shared this. It's a little bit hard to articulate, I guess, for lack of a better word, but hopefully I'll kind of explain this. Okay, so again, different ways that you can describe, you can kind of mention this in English, loosely translate, could be keeping up with the Jones, or basically not looking bad in front of your friends or your peers and things like that, and then where this comes from. All right, so this is Alex, and I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you do, Vanessa and I would appreciate you clicking on the subscribe button to subscribe to our channel. And then also, if you'd like to make, we'd love to get your feedback, by commenting on this video, okay? So again, this is Alex signing off, and I'll talk to you in the next video.